Okay, so SATS was our homework last week. Just getting to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's what we're trying to do. That's it. That's the whole work that we're supposed to be doing is number one, determining what it is that we want in life. And number two is familiarize ourselves with that feeling. So today, what we're going to do is discuss states of being, how shifting our state shifts our outcomes, and also techniques for living in the end as if the desired reality has already manifested. We're going to cover 3 exercises. One of them is scripting. We're also going to create inner conversations that are aligned with our desire. And also, we are going to talk about being present in the moment, being mindful. Are we truly present and are we truly aware of what state of being we're occupying? I like to categorize my state of being into 2 categories. One of them is helpful, one of them is not. I call them a disempowered state or a contracted state, and also the empowered state, which is an expanded version where we feel really good in our body. Contracted state doesn't feel good. And it's really important to align our feelings with what it is that we say that we want, because our feelings give us clues. So we can either be really optimistic about life or really pessimistic about life. And whatever state that we decide to occupy will affect what results we're going to get in life. Because if you're feeling in an empowered state, you're going to feel the feelings, you're going to have the thoughts. Those thoughts and feelings are really going to determine your actions. And those actions are going to determine what results you experience. So for me, I've experienced disempowered states when I was going through depression. Depression was very familiar to me. I was in a depressed state when I was a teenager, always not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving. But back then, I didn't have words for it. It was just a feeling, right? The thing about those feelings is they become normal. And we oftentimes don't know how to change it. We just think that this is the way life is, and we don't understand how to change that. We don't even understand that we have options. After I found Neville's teachings, the law of assumption, assume that you already are who you say that you want to be. When I started doing these techniques like SATs, like using my imagination, that there was actually possibilities for me. And those feelings and thoughts caused me to act. Those actions, when I thought about the possibility that, yes, it could be true for me, then my actions followed. It followed in my business. It followed in my marriage. It followed in me being a mother. When I felt empowered, I'm like, you know what? I don't need perfection out of myself. I just need to make sure that I'm taking steps in the direction of what I want. And when you start thinking in alignment with that, you're going to get ideas. You're going to be able to soothe yourself and say, you know what? It's okay. Nobody's perfect. When we think about our lives, we think about all the things that we have to change about ourselves. We don't have to do that. We can just make one decision at a time and make sure that those decisions are in alignment with where we want to go. That's how we empower ourselves. I'm going to read something from chapter 5 from his book, The Power of Awareness. This chapter is called The Truth That Sets You Free. And he says the drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions. So it's a psychological game. It's a mental game because our 3D reality, what we are experiencing with our 5 senses, is the effect of what's going on in here and what's going on in our whole body. It's an effect. This is the cause here. What we choose to believe, our assumptions, our concepts of ourselves, which includes what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about others, and what we believe about the world that we live in, that all shapes our reality. So what do we need to change? It's not the outside world. We need to change what's going on in here. We need to change what's going on in here, our mind and our body. This is going to take practice because we've got habits of thought that need to get changed. We have habits of being that need to get changed. If we want our life to change, we have to change. He says, since your life is determined by your assumptions, you are forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or the master of it. Well, what feels better? We want to master them. We want to master ourselves. And we have the power to do that in every single moment. He says you can attain this mastery by deliberate, conscious control of your imagination. That's what we're practicing. We're practicing being deliberate. We're practicing controlling our assumptions. We're practicing feeling the feelings that we want to feel. Think about it. Our habits of feeling, not just our habits of thought, our habits of feeling will always pull us back. And we have to recognize that. That is the very first step, is recognizing when we're getting sucked back to the old version of ourselves. We're going to do that with the techniques. We have to firmly and repeatedly be focused on the object to be accomplished. Do we all know what we want? Do we all know how we want to feel? I know I do, because I've experienced depression. I've experienced sadness. I've experienced grief. Don't like it. Do not like it. So what do I prefer instead? Can I make the decision in every moment to give that gift to myself? Yes, I can do that. I want to normalize not the low-level feelings, although it is a part of the game. This is the thing. It's a part of the game. So we don't want to resist it, because those parts, if we allow them to, they can be jumping off points to something better for us. That's the whole purpose of them. Because if everything was just great, we wouldn't expand. So they play a very important part of the process. So we don't resist them, but we take it as information and we turn it. We turn it and we say, okay, it's now giving me more clarity. And what we want to do is when we turn it and say, okay, I don't like that. This is what I prefer instead. We're going to try to remember to normalize that feeling. It's resting in the Lord. It's trusting. It's having faith and trust, belief. Those are very important aspects to this game. Those who rest in the Lord are inevitably transformed into the image of that which they rest. So they're thinking from it. We want to think from it. We don't want to think of it. We want to think from it. Who is the version of ourselves that is living that right now? So for instance, when I was trying to understand this concept, thinking from it, that means that we are an actor in our play and we are literally playing that part. So imagine if I wanted a new car. When my husband and I were looking for a new car, we looked at a bunch of different kinds, and there were some that we liked and, some that we didn't after we test drove them. And we settled on a BMW. Now, thinking of it would just be to think, oh yeah, that was a beautiful car. This is the way it's shaped. We're imagining it, what it looks like. We're seeing it, from the outside. But when you're thinking from it, you're literally sitting in the driver's seat. You're not seeing the whole car. You're in the driver's seat. You feel the leather seats behind you. You feel the steering wheel in your hands. You see through the windshield. You're thinking from it. You are literally inserting yourself into your imaginative act. We're feeling it. What does it feel like? For people that drive, you know what it feels like to push on the gas. This was a very powerful car. When I pushed on the gas, like literally, I went backwards like this. We put ourselves in it. So we're thinking from it. If you are in a relationship, if it's a relationship that you want, what does it feel like to have somebody beside you? Can you feel somebody's arms around you? You're lying in bed. Can you feel somebody's arms around you, hugging you? Can you put yourself in there? Feel somebody's arms. Feel somebody's arms around you. Let's think from it. We want to make sure that we have controlled imagination. We want to make sure that we persist. We start with the end in mind. The end is where we begin. What does that end scene look like to you? And what we want to do is we want to fill our minds with this one dream that we have or desire and fill it as if it's already done, and we crowd out all other ideas. So when I first started doing this work, I wanted financial freedom. And if something came into my reality that didn't match what I wanted to feel, which was stress, anxiety, overwhelm, fear, doubt, if I had a thought that didn't match that, my job was to fill my mind with what I did want and crowd that other stuff out. That's the work here. That's testing the law of assumption. We may not have the evidence of it now, but that's our work until we get there. Because we want to embody that feeling of already being it. We live in a world where there are universal laws that exist. We're vibrational beings, we're energetic beings. And what we need to do is we need to match that energy, be that energy of what we want, so that the law of attraction can bring it to us. We want to be magnetic to it. So we're only limited by our uncontrolled imagination, our lack of attention to feeling the wish fulfilled. Sandra's asking, how do you fill your mind with that idea? Reading, affirmation, audios? Yes. We're going to cover 3 techniques that have been super powerful for me. Just find one that feels right for you. We're all different, right? So one technique will work better for somebody than another one. What we'll do is we'll go over those techniques right now. So for me, scripting. Scripting was super powerful for me. I'm a writer. I love writing in my journal. I love writing things down. Our concept of ourselves, what we believe true about ourselves, will make us magnetic to those things. We'll start attracting them. So what I did is I got myself a self-concept notebook. Anybody that's been in my programs before, know they recognize this. It says, do what you love to do. Find something that you really like. This is cute. It says, change the world, be happy, today is a day, be bold, set goals. Like when I saw it, I loved it. I'm going to read you. So this was back in October 2022. I wrote it down, write it real. So I wrote with the attitude that everything I write down, I don't know how it's going to come to pass. I just know that it will. It's almost like I set it down in stone. I wrote it down in stone and I made it firm in my mind. Back in 2019, I found an old journal and I said, I get paid to be me. I didn't know what that looked like. It sounded great. I heard somebody else say it and I'm like, I'm going to take that because I loved it. And I wrote down stuff like I am a millionaire. Okay, so I wrote down what are the things which I know are meant to come to physical fruition now. I know that I'm meant to inspire. I know that I'm meant to step into the truth of who I am. I know that I'm meant to draw out the best of who I am and be the way shower for others to do it too. I know that I'm meant to live the good life. I know that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now. And I put in Costa Rica, poolside, underneath the sun. It's exactly where I was when I started writing this book. My husband and I were in Costa Rica celebrating our 28th wedding anniversary. I said, I know that I'm meant for more. I know I'm meant to be wealthy and happy. I know I'm meant to live a relaxed and self-fulfilling life. I'm always expanding. I live life on my terms. I'm a happily married woman. Everything always works out for me. I am an authority. I am loved, deeply loved. I am a priority. I am valued and cherished. I am worthy of everything that I desire in life. I am a priority. Oh, I wrote that down twice. I am a priority. I always get what I want. I have access to everything I want in an instant. I have the power to choose at any moment, and I am amazing at choosing for myself. I am always valued and committed to easily. I am whole and complete. I just wrote down whatever flowed out of my being, whatever I wanted for myself. And I didn't overthink it. A lot of times we overthink things. How's that going to happen? I don't know whether or not that's going to come true. Or, oh, do I really want that? No. Just write it down. This is the problem, is that we listen to our logical minds so much, and so much of this life is not logical. We think that we need to figure everything out. We don't. We have God on our side, God the Father, the greater, bigger part of us that knows that all is well, that is always calling us forward. A lot of times we don't go because we're trying to figure it out. When we get an idea, are you acting on that idea? Are you shooting that idea down because you're like, oh, I don't know if that's going to work? And then you introduce doubt. But what do you do with that doubt? It's not so much what comes into our experience, but how we respond to it. That's the most important. And we respond to it as a version of ourselves that we want to be. In November, I am always understood. I articulate what I mean to say beautifully. I have a wonderful way with words. I articulate thoughts, concepts, and ideas in a simplistic way that is easily understood. People value my worth and pay me well. People love to refer me to their friends and family. I am fully booked with clients. I'm grounded in my truth. I'm mastering myself. Good things happen to me. I'm valued, valuable, and invaluable. I'm cherished. I'm wanted. People feel blessed when they are around me. All of these things have come true. There was one time I was having dinner with a high school friend, and I told her that this is what I was doing. She went home that day and she says, "I'm going to try it." She wrote, her birthday was coming up, and she wrote down that she wanted a computer, a specific brand of computer, and she wrote it down. She put it in her nightstand, and I told her to write it down as if it was coming true. And then that's it. Let it go. Just have faith that it will. Faith is such a huge part of the game. Well, her birthday came and went. The next time we got together, she says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. Guess what ended up happening? I wrote down my computer, and her husband went and bought her that exact computer, that exact one. She hadn't mentioned it to him that that's what she wanted. She got exactly what she asked for. Now she's a believer." So this is what we want to do. We want to test it. Write it down. It's not hard. Just write it down and have faith. Say, "I don't know how this is going to come true. I have faith that it will." You can write out a success story. So my husband and I right now have money invested in stocks. And my husband said to me, "Write your success story so that when it happens, you can just post it." So that's what I've done. I've written down my success story, the amount of money that I want to manifest. It's written down. The success story is already there. Now, when you're writing your success story, you write it the way that you want to experience it. How would you feel? What would you think? What would you be doing? Be an author in your life. Have fun with it. It's really fun to write stories. Children make up stories in their imagination every day. We've been given the gift of imagination. It's a faculty that has been given to us. We've been trained out of it without even realizing we've been trained out of it. You go to school in kindergarten, kids are using their imagination, they're having fun. And what does a teacher say? No offense to any teachers, because this is your job, right? You want to maintain some control. But what do they say to the kids? Pay attention. Pay attention to me. And this is what you're supposed to be doing instead. And then kids have this assumption, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't pay attention. We've been trained at such a young age out of these wonderful faculties that we've been given that are our birthright.